And we're live with Rob Brown, aka Roberto Marone, aka Rob Lebrun. Straight from where are you? I don't remember where you are.
I'm in Koh Samui, Thailand.
What?
Koh Samui. It's an island in Thailand.
All right. So just because I don't remember exactly, how did you find yourself in Koh Samui or whatever it's called?
Koh Samui.
Koh Samui.
I'm a traveler here, Phil, so I find myself everywhere without any rhyme or reason. But it just so happens that I was here during the COVID pandemic outbreak. So stranded, but I'm okay.
Well, what do you mean you're stranded? Why? Just come home. Trudeau came out and told everyone all the Canadians who are abroad should just come home.
Good. So good point. So this is where we're going to start.
All right. So we'll start wherever you want, buddy.
Yeah, this is it. So I think it's important to let's try to figure this out together. Mm-hmm. So Trudeau says March 16th, he says, everybody come home. Okay, so Phil, to you, what do you think is an acceptable time frame when the Prime Minister says come home? Is there like an acceptable time frame to you that that makes a Canadian either responsible or irresponsible in terms of when he or she's going to come home?
What do you mean in general? Like when your mom calls you in for dinner?
Like, come inside. No, when the Prime Minister says come home because there's a global pandemic.
Oh, it depends how far you are, but I'd say 7 days, let's say.
7 days. That's a good time frame, I think.
I think so.
For me, the earliest reasonably acceptably priced ticket was 11 days after that announcement.
What is reasonably like? What's a regular ticket if you were to fly one way from Koh Samui to Montreal?
From Koh Samui to Montreal.
Koh Samui to Montreal.
I'd say approximately 900 to 1,000 Canadian dollars.
That's not that expensive. Actually, I'm kind of surprised by that.
Yeah, I know. Most people are surprised. Like plane tickets are as expensive as people think they are. They're not $4,000. This is a myth. This is not true.
That's crazy. I've paid like $2,000 to fly direct to Greece, and it's like half the distance.
No,
it's nuts.
No, I don't know where are you going on Air Canada? What are you doing?
No, this was back in the day. This was like high season, peak season with Olympic when they used to fly. But like I've paid $900 to fly to Florida for work. Like last minute. Yeah,
the last minute is how it goes. Now, but it's $400 to get one side of Canada to the other.
Yeah, well, Anyways, fuck air.
But it's about $1,000. Okay. And so 11 days later after that announcement, that was a reasonably accepted price. Now, the thing is this. The thing is that I know it's not about money, but then it's easy to go back and talk about it in retrospect. I didn't know how bad this would eventually become. Okay, the Prime Minister says there's a problem, but remember my experience. My experience is I'm traveling around Thailand, I'm in Malaysia, I'm in Vietnam, I'm going kind of everywhere. So 11 days later, to me, in my experience with regards to my life, is not like an outrageous, irresponsible thing. But it turned out to be long enough that there turned out to be no flights to get home. So
are you saying that if you had jumped the gun, if you had said, "Oh, Daddy Trudeau called, I got to get home," in those first 5 days, you would have been all right?
I would have, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I definitely would have. I would have paid a little bit more, but no deal. I would have.
But who knew that, right? How could you know? Like, think of what we're living through right now. It's so bizarre, so surreal.
So this is my argument. You're making my. But it's easy for everybody who's listening to go, no, your Prime Minister said something. You should have come home. You should have done it responsibly and quickly.
Prime Minister said a lot of things over the years. Doesn't mean we should have done them all.
So
just saying, yeah.
You're proving my point. But what happened is that they canceled my first ticket. Okay. So, no problem. So I booked another one in the middle of March. Now, by the way, this cost me $1,800. So I paid because I felt that coming home was the reasonably important thing to do and responsible.
Yes.
It didn't happen. They canceled that one too. And from then on, I'm pretty much just stranded here. So this is what happens now. So
this is Air Canada?
This is how Air Canada does it. So what they do is they're not offering vouchers. Vouchers means here's your digital money. You could use it however you wish.
Okay.
What they're doing in this time is they're offering you credit. So they're saying, okay, you have, in my case, $1,800 of credit. but there's a couple of catches that it's either in the fine print or it's not explained to us at all. Number one, you have to use it all in one shot. You can't use this $1,800.
Buy 3 tickets.
Buy 3 different tickets.
Right.
So if in a month or 2 months, all of a sudden the price to get home is $600, yeah, well, you lost $1,200 and that's the end of the story.
Oh shit! It doesn't even. Okay. Whoa.
No, yeah. So that's it. You have to.
I was thinking when you said you can't use it 3 times, I thought I want to fly 3 different places. I'm gonna wait for deals. I didn't even think of what you just said. The possibility of losing it because tickets are cheaper.
Because tickets are cheaper. No, I mean you could still. I mean if there's still.
Does it carry forward?
No, it doesn't carry forward. But it's good for 2 years. This credit you could use in the 2-year time frame. So there is a little permission there.
Something.
A bit of leeway there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so even if you drop down to different connecting airports, if that whole process costs you $600, you've lost $1,200.
Right.
I don't know if see, some people would debate me on the word loss here. They'd go like, no, you didn't lose it. I mean, you already paid it to get home. But here's the second catch.
Right.
Here's the catch that really pissed me off. Okay. But what I found out a couple of days ago, and it got me angry enough that I, did a formal complaint on YouTube, is that now that it's a month later, and now that I'm trying to get new tickets.
Sorry, I don't mean to jump in on you, but I love that in this day and age, a formal complaint is a YouTube video. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like before, it was like, I'm going to send them an angry email and let them know what I'm thinking about this.
Yeah, well, I did, but
I'm sure
here's
you did.
Here's catch number
two.
Catch
What prompted you to
two,
go to the internet? Tell me.
Well, before I get that, catch number 2 is I asked them, I emailed them because they don't have a number that you can call. It's
no, of course not.
In terms of refunds. Catch number 3, it takes them a minimum of 6 weeks to get back to you. Hey, I want to get home, man. Not because I'm an entitled millennial, just because I tried to get home twice. Ooh, sorry. I tried 11 days later. I guess that makes me irresponsible. And in some people's eyes, it really does. And there's nothing I could do about it.
No, for sure.
But I tried to get home twice. It didn't work. I don't want to wait another 6 weeks because I'm here. And like, maybe I don't have a job. Maybe I can't afford to be here. How do I get home?
Questions, all good questions.
In this case, I'm totally fine. And we can get to that in a second.
Sure.
That's why
I'm glad to hear, by the way.
I'm not sad and I'm totally fine. But the third catch is this, and this is the one that really pissed me off, is that now it's a month later. Now you want to get home, but now there's going to be different connecting airports. So this is what they do. And this wrecked me. Is that now they say, oh, well, now that you're going to different airports, there's different taxes on those airports. And I said, oh, yeah? Okay. What's the price of the new ticket for me to get home? I have $1,800 credit. What's the new price now? She says, your new price is $1,300. I said, okay, what are the new taxes? She said, it comes out to $366. And I said, great, use the rest of the credit to pay the taxes. They go, no. They go, no, you have to pay the taxes.
Because your vouchers are Air Canada money, not tax.
Not vouchers, but credit. My credit is
your credit,
Air Canada credit, yeah.
Right.
So that's the theory, is that it's my credit. So my question is, oh, okay. Well, what about the old airports that I paid for? What about them? Do I get refunded for that? I didn't go. I never went on the middle of March. So what about?
Yeah.
Are you going to refund me those taxed tickets that I paid for or not? Of course they're not going to. Of course, you paid $1,800, sir. Now you have to pay another $366, sir. But I have a bit of a problem with that.
Realistically, if they cancel this flight and then they put you on another connecting flight, you're just going to keep paying airport taxes.
So if they cancel this one, then I have to keep on paying airport taxes. That's correct. Unless I somehow negotiate with them that I want to be fully refunded for the airport taxes. But I don't think that they're going to do that. So you see, there's all these little loopholes.
That's such a mess.
It's a mess. Now,
what's Air Canada saying? Are they even offering a solution to these lost airport taxes, or they don't care? It's not their problem, really.
I think that they believe that offering credit is quite responsible compared to other airlines around the world. And I think that they think that is I mean, that's the
reasonable.
Reasonable. Yeah, that's the word we're using. We're using being reasonable here, right?
Yeah.
So I think that it is something, and I do appreciate it. But let's be reasonable for a second, okay, Phil? Let's be reasonable because it's important to be reasonable. It's easy for me to sit here and criticize this mega corporation. Okay, but let's talk about this mega corporation. Let's be reasonable, yeah? So we have people like you and me, taxpayers. Everything we have to do with the CRA has to be fucking perfect, yeah? Small businesses, they have to be fucking perfect. Everything has to be accounted for. And if you're not, you're fucked because you're the working man.
They're gonna find you. They're gonna find you, and they're gonna find a way to get that money that you missed or you weren't organized enough. But then when it comes to the big boys, we don't have to hold them to the same regard, do we, Phil? So here's the thing. Let's be reasonable, Phil. Let's say they have an accounting issue. They do. They have an accounting issue. No one's flying. They're in a great deal of trouble. First of all, Phil, who's going to pay off their big their debt? We are. We're going to bail them out. We're going to
bail them the fuck out. And I think that we already have. And what are they doing? I don't think that they're complying with the government regulation to pay their workers 75%. No. They're just firing everybody. But let's be reasonable. Let's understand.
Furloughing. They're
furloughing, of course.
There's a word knowing you before this quarantine started.
Now I do.
Unless you have stock in Bombardier.
Yeah. Oh man. So so they're furloughing everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So we have to hold them though, Phil, to a different regard, and I don't like that. This company has been around for 100 fucking years. 100 fucking years. You're telling me?
Is that a fact?
Okay, let's check it out.
No, I trust you. If you're willing to whip it out, I believe it.
No, I'm not willing to whip it out. I'm just kind of giving an exaggerated number. It sounds really good. Let's do this. Let's figure it out. I'm looking.
Pull it out, buddy. Let's count it out.
Air Canada.
Founded.
Did you find it?
No, I said founded. Air Canada founded. I didn't found nothing. I'm trying not to touch other devices here. I'll wait. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
While I'm looking this up, though.
Yeah.
My question is,
keep going.
Why do we have to hold them to different regard? Why can't they have put money aside in their quarterly net savings of what is it, $1 billion every fucking quarter for the last 10, 20 years? How come they couldn't put a little money to the side in case of something like this happened? How come they don't have to think like that, but we do? How come? That's
I don't have an answer for you.
Well, neither do I. So, look, we're being reasonable. I'm not actually asking for a refund, Phil. I'm not asking for
that's fine. I understand
my money back. I don't want that. I just want the ability to use my money however I wish, given this credit. Why couldn't they just give vouchers? Why did they have to give credit?
Would the vouchers have then been applicable to these airport taxes?
I don't know.
I don't think they would have been. I think you would have been in the same situation.
Not the same though, because with vouchers you could use it however you want. So you could use your first little bit of money paid to get
keep your 500, buy something else, right?
Buy something else in the future, and you could, what is that called? Compounding? I don't know.
Like with cell phones and minutes, you carry them over.
Right? It's first transcontinental flight routes in 1938.
All right, so almost 100 years.
Yeah, it's founded April 10th, 1937.
Happy birthday, Air Canada.
Happy birthday, Air Canada.
We missed it. We sent a package. It's probably got lost in the mail. You said something earlier. I want to ask you something. You said I'm not just an entitled millennial, right? I want to just clear up the fact that you're not an influencer. You're not one of these like traveling the world and posting yourself under a waterfall, even though you have been to waterfalls and taken photos, which is a normal thing to do.
And I've posted those moments as well.
And that's fine.
I never claimed to be an influencer.
No, you're not that kind of millennial. That's what I want to just clear up. Like, what are you doing down there?
No, wait. First of all, I'm not a millennial at all.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm 35. That's not a millennial. That's
my friend, you are a millennial.
No, sir, I'm not.
I hate to break it to you. What year are you born? It starts in 81.
No.
Yeah, I've had this. You are a millennial, my friend. You are not a Gen Xer. We're definitely not Gen Z. You're only a year older than I am.
We are millennials. We are the elders in the millennial tribe. I think that's a joke. I definitely just stole that joke. I've heard that somewhere. But yeah, we are millennials, but we are not what people consider millennials. Like when older people, the older Gen Xers and the baby boomers think of millennials, they're actually thinking of Gen Z, which is way younger than us. Millennials have mortgages and receding hairlines and kids. Like the youngest of us are 25. Okay, so, but cool. I don't like getting into the whole generational thing, how they split up by generations, because like I have more in common with people who are considered Gen Xers than I do with younger millennials. Because I remember the world before the internet, and it was a dark place, but it was a happy place sometimes.
But what do you mean? I loved it. There's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and
there's still Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You can just download it all on the internet, Rob. But so what are you doing down there? Like, tell me how Rob, because I want everyone to know how I met you. Rob answered a casting call, and it turned out he's one of the most talented actors I've ever had the pleasure of directing. We made a movie together. In my book, you're family now because we made a movie together, and I didn't pay you. So, and you were an actor, and you were doing all right, and now you're in Sambuca, Thailand. You're fucking Sambuca.
Koh Samui.
Koh Samui. The craziest thing that I'm thinking right now is how 2 months ago we were having a conversation on Instagram. I don't know if you remember this, and we're arranging to meet up in Greece this summer. You remember that?
Yeah.
That's fucking not happening, buddy.
That is not happening anymore, brother. Oh man, I was in Greece.
When this all started in like the first whispers of coronavirus happened in like I guess it must have been end of February. My wife was looking for our tickets. I was like, I would hold off. She's like, come on. I'm like, I don't know. This shit seems kind of weird. They're saying some crazy stuff. Man. She's like, oh, you just don't want to make plans because you don't know what your work schedule is going to be like, which was half true. But there was something. And she's like, I'll wait for a better deal. And then here we are. So tell everyone now that I've fucking
made the right call.
Gone sideways on this story. How did you end up in fucking Thailand?
Yeah, so after the acting chapter in my life, I just wanted to discover a little bit more about Earth. So I just started to travel, started to teach online and whatever. And this is something that
what are you teaching online?
What am I teaching? I'm teaching.
You teach English. Oh, yeah. You know that. Well, that's perfect. Yeah.
No, but originally I was teaching in Chiang Mai, Thailand, like in an actual school. And that's fine. And I loved it. But there's something about teaching online and sort of being location independent that really just makes life quite fulfilling for me. It works for me. Yeah, I have a very close family and whatnot. But, to be able to unglue from them was, for me, the greatest thing that ever happened to me. So it's not to say that I don't like them or anything. It's just that I'm sort of going down a different path right now, and I'm really appreciating it.
Yeah, I've been watching your little odyssey. I don't mean that in like a patronizing way.
Sure.
Lack of a better word. And it's like sometimes I see it and I'm like, fucking Rob is crazy. I would not go there. Like I think everything east of like Middle Turkey is terrifying. And case in point, coronavirus. But
okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah, actually, I want to know what it's like down there. Like what it's like in Thailand right now, in the middle of a fucking unprecedented pandemic.
To answer this question, everything here for me on this island has been completely normal.
Really?
Yeah. So here's we got to talk about this, okay?
Yeah, I want to know
that I learned here, okay? So when I was telling everybody I'm coming home 11 days after the Prime Minister's announcement, and everybody was, either calling me irresponsible or that I don't want to come home, everyone was attaching a sentiment to that, and they were saying, "Hey, listen, you don't want to be there during a global pandemic. You want to be where there's infrastructure. You want to be in the West, right? Because if something goes down in the East, you're dead, man." Now, I agree with this. This is true. However, I learned in this global pandemic that is what I call a level 2 conversation. And I think what the level 1 conversation is, this is how I roll, Phil. You know me.
I like it.
I'm Italian. I got to express myself with my fingers.
Marone. Yeah.
Exactly. The level 1 conversation, and you argue with me if you disagree.
Sure.
But the level 1 conversation here, Phil, is compliance. Now, you just said I'm a traveler. Yeah, I don't go with the flow. I don't often listen to what the government is saying. But you know, this was a time.
I never said any of those things, just for the record.
No. No. What I mean is, as you stated, that I am out into the world.
Oh, you're out in the world, yeah.
Like I'm out in the world. I'm having a life, right?
You're a nomad.
So I'm a nomad. So like typically that kind of means that I'm not really grooving with the way things are established for you and me.
Sure. I know what you mean. Okay, I get
carving out a different life, right?
Right.
But in this case, so I'm not a very compliant person, but in this case, I think that if everybody just listened to their governments and went the fuck home, I think we would be in a different place. Now, why do I say that? Because where I am, Daddy-O, people listen. They listened and they went fucking home and they wore their mask. When I go into a 7-Eleven here, to this day, I go in with a mask. Where's my mask? I don't have it on me.
That's fine. That's okay.
Going with a mask, and they squirt alcohol on my hands. Everywhere. Every time I go into any establishment, that's what's going on.
Really?
Everybody's going home.
But that's going on here too now.
Yeah, but because we have in America and in Canada, we have this idea of human freedom, people don't listen. Right? And what did Prime Minister Trudeau say a couple of days after he made that original announcement? He said, go home and stay home. Yeah. Remember that? Remember when he said that? People weren't complying. People weren't listening. Now, well, I don't know.
I'm sure you've heard the news by now. Even half a world away, Montreal is a fucking mess.
Center. Yeah. Mess. And I don't know.
I don't know why.
I don't know why. I don't know if because, you know, we're really trying to fight the system. I know that places in America are already opening up. They're always trying to fight the power, right? They don't want to listen to their government. Spain doesn't listen to their government. Italy, the people hate their government. So
but I can make a counter argument there. Basically, there's, as far as I've seen in the last 15 years especially, there's like a deep-seated in the Western world. I can't speak for the Orient. Distrust of government, right? And for good reason. I'm not saying they should.
Great reason.
For
great reason.
As a Greek, as a person of Greek descent, following Greece's 30 last years of failed democracy and being a failed state, they do not trust their government, but they fucking went home. Greece has one of the lowest death counts, lowest case counts I don't care about because who knows how much they're testing, right? But one of the lowest death counts in Europe.
I heard about
and this. I have no idea why.
This one shocked me. I will tell you, this one shocked me.
They're going to get it hard as soon as tourism starts up again. Like, they're going to be decimated. Because stay home is great, but what happens if in the meantime, like none of us are developing any kind of immunity? We're all safe, but how long can we stay home for? Right? Like it's been 2 months here. When I was saying, the East scares me for a pandemic, I was thinking like you're on an island. I've been on an island in Europe where supplies are an issue. Has that been an issue for you? Like food, drugs?
Not even a little bit.
Pharmaceutical, not recreational.
Not even a little bit. Well,
really?
When I walk anywhere, shelves are fully stocked. There hasn't been one problem. People went home, people listened, everything operated as it should. They took care of business and they were strict. And so they maybe.
What do you mean? What do you mean they were strict? What did they get beaten?
No, not beaten.
How strict are they?
So like strict as in, like I said, the second you get off the boat and at the time, if you were getting off the plane, you were questioned. You had to fill out surveys where you were, what you did. And you had to clean your hands. And if you didn't follow all these things, you were quarantined. So there's this little element of authoritarianism, which in this case, I think is kind of reasonable. And like, I'm not used to it coming from the West.
Those words put all together, strung into a sentence are terrifying, man.
They are terrifying, but guess what here, bud? And this is what I'm reporting to you. What I'm reporting to you is my life over here has been completely normal. Now I ask you why. Why has it been normal? I'm on an island where, as you pointed out, I should be in a little bit more trouble than everybody else, but I haven't been. How come life for me has been completely normal? And there in the West, it's a nightmare, especially in Montreal. How come? Why do you think that is?
I don't know if I'd go so far as to say it's a nightmare. We're home. Like for some people, it's a nightmare. I'm pretty lucky. I'm still,
You said it was a mess.
The city itself, the numbers are a mess. My real issue is I can't account for why Montreal would have such an elevated, aside from what's happening in the old folks' homes, which is someone needs to be tried for that. Like that is major negligence on the part of the government. And I used to work for the healthcare system.
I remember.
And I can see how things could easily get to that point based on what I had seen. but the numbers don't make sense aside from how virulent the virus actually is. Like, if March break is playing a big role, because Quebec does March break earlier, as big a role as people are saying, why isn't Florida all dead? That's where they were, those people. They were spring breaking in Florida. So something's not right. And people, for the most part, have been staying home. I've driven through the city. It's a ghost town. It is surreal, especially the first 6 weeks. Now they're starting to loosen up a bit. They're testing the waters as far as I can tell. But I just don't know, man. Like, part of me wants to say, fuck it. Like, I haven't been wearing a mask for the simple reason that until 2 weeks ago, they told us the masks were useless. It's not airborne. You don't need a mask. In Asia, they had fucking SARS. They're used to it. This is not the first time that the government has come and stepped in and said, hey, people of our Asian nation, whichever one that might be, there's a fucking virus that's going to kill you. Wear a mask. Like, in every dystopian future sci-fi movie, everything looks Asian. They're always wearing masks, either for the pollution or for some virus. So for them, maybe it's just part of their lives. Maybe it's a cultural thing, and that's why they're okay with it. But I don't know. I don't know that I am. I'm not sure.
Well, look, here's the thing. I know I'm using trigger words. You know what I mean? I am Canadian, and I'm used to personal freedom. And I just would like to say that I've been able to go. This is not bragging. This is just telling you the reality of what my life in the last 2 months. I've been able to go outside anytime I want. I could get on my bike. I could go to any beach I want. I could go into any restaurant I want, but it's only takeaway. You wear the mask. You use alcohol.
Sanitize the hands. Yeah.
And like I use words like authoritarianism, but I haven't been under an authoritarian regime. What I said specifically was, it's okay to have elements of it. You know, just try to make sure everything is in control. Everything is compartmentalized into boxes and people are complying. This is what you need right now. And so my life has been very free and very good. And it hasn't necessarily been like that in Canada. Of course, I have family there. I'm with them all the time. You know what I mean? So I know what's up. But I just, that's all I could do is report to you what's going on here.
No, for sure. And that's kind of what I want. I just want to know what your take is. Like, I have no idea what this would be like on an island in Thailand, obviously.
This is what it's like.
There's a part of me that wishes that I had already flown to Greece, made it to the beach house, and then we got locked down. I would have been like, you know what? Fuck it. The water's right there.
Yeah.
My people lived here for thousands of generations through plagues and fires. We'll make it. We'll be fine. I would have loved to be able to go to a beach instead of be locked in my 1,200 foot or whatever it is, square foot condo with a toddler, a baby, and another adult. And I don't mean to make it sound like terrible, but it's close quarters, right? But the one thing I'm grateful for is I'm not alone. Like, I don't know how I would have done in true isolation. And that's basically what you're doing. You're not isolated all the time, right? Like, I saw your stories today. I saw the tongue-in-cheekiness of it.
Yeah,
what's that like?
I am completely isolated, Phil. I have no friends here. I have no family. I don't know anybody, and of course, I can't meet anybody. What do you want me to do? Go on Tinder?
I don't know. What's Thai Tinder like? Is it interesting? I bet it's interesting. I bet it's fucking interesting.
It's super interesting, but
I bet it's super interesting.
And plus, there's not just Thais. There's women from everywhere. It's
I know.
I'm on there right now. I don't want to meet anybody during this time.
No, of course not. Loving the time of coronavirus.
But
forbidden love, Robert.
But here's the thing: is that for whatever reason, I'm really enjoying the isolation. I am usually.
I had a feeling you would be.
Yeah, I don't.
You're one of the more. I
don't know if you could tell.
Yeah.
But I'm an extrovert, so you would think that as an extrovert.
No, I wouldn't at all, actually. Look, I'm a bit of an extrovert too sometimes, and I like to be alone for periods of time. I enjoy it. I thrive.
Yeah,
I miss it, to be honest. But I don't know, 2 months, a long time.
2 months.
Start talking to yourself.
2 months I have been talking to myself. 2 months I haven't touched a human being up until 2 days ago, where a Thai man shook my hand because I was always frequenting his establishment to get some coffee. So he's like, "Hey man, my name's Tom," and I said, "My name's Rob."
That's a traditional Thai name, Tom, right? It is. No, it is.
They all have English names.
Tom, something. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they're called Hamburger. Sometimes they're called Gory. Yeah. Whatever.
I remember that in Seja in college when Asian exchange students from like Thailand, China, they'd be like, my name is whatever long thing I can't pronounce for you guys. You can just call me Donatello. It's fine. And you're like, Donatello.
I had one student. His name was Pooh.
Pooh? Did he know?
He knew.
He knew. He knew.
He knew. And he just loved it. But isolation, I didn't think I would take it so well. But I guess it's just it kind of hit me in a moment in my life where being completely alone and without distraction I embraced it. I needed it. I wanted it. And I've been kind of hyper-focused on new projects, which me and you should talk about one day more beyond.
If you ever get home.
Well, not beyond the podcast, just we can keep on.
No, I know for sure.
But I've been focused on stuff, and I've really enjoyed it. I never thought I would say that, but I really enjoyed it.
There was a handful of people whose names and faces popped into my head as Trudeau walked out and moistly said to get home. You were one of them. There was a few other people who I knew who were abroad for work or for whatever. I thought of myself, obviously, because I've been going abroad for work often, but that like shut down quick. So that wasn't an issue. But of all the people I thought, I'm like, Rob's gonna have a good quarantine. Rob's gonna have a good time. I thought you were in Bali for some reason, or maybe you were at some point. Were you?
No.
Never in Bali. All of Asia is Hong Kong and Bali to me. Like, there's no other Asia. I'm telling you, east of Turkey, there's fucking dragons. But that's just me being like a piece of shit Greek Westerner. But I had a feeling that isolation would suit you because you're such a nut. You really are. And you're very introspective, if that's the right word. Like, I wanted to talk to you first because I knew three things. One, you're a Canadian who's trapped during an unprecedented pandemic, trapped, I use the term loosely, on an island in Thailand. That's fucking interesting. Two, you're a psychopath, which is great. And I mean that in the most endearing possible way. And three, I had a feeling you'd be doing okay. Because I didn't want to start off with hey, I'm here in Thailand. I want to kill myself. Like, that's not the first interview I wanted to have. You know, episode 1 of Fill My Hole, Rob offs himself in paradise. You know?
No, definitely not, man. But I truly didn't think I would feel this way. I truly didn't feel I would, and it just turned out to be that way. So now, I get to make these quirky little Instagram videos of
it seems fun. There's like this tiny part of me that's jealous. This tiny little part of me that's jealous. Because like my father before me, I love a good crisis. I don't want a real crisis, but like all men, I think, especially dads, like, you know, sirens go down. You wonder what's going on down the street. I'm gonna go check it out. Like, as if I know what to do, right? My dad's been going on about the end of the world. Nostradamus predict. I'm like, what are you doing?
Hilarious.
He's like, I went to Costco today. I was like, oh, okay. I went to Costco. Cool. You went to Costco. But like, that's what I mean. We all imagine, even the movie we made, which by the way, we watched live with an audience online last weekend, and people liked it. They really enjoyed it.
Dude, in my acting career, that was my favorite project I ever did.
That's probably the highlight of mine as well, honestly, of my whole career.
Your project, I had so much fun doing it. The creativity that you allowed us to do, everything about it was the best.
I think I feel like people in that live chat were tearing up in that Eli Jason scene, which if anyone wants to see it, it was on the morning show, posted 7 days before this episode. Today is the 19th of May. So you guys can catch that on Pantelis Comedy, or it's on my website, balabanos.com. Rob, I'm going to wrap this up because it's late for me. It's early for you, and you got to make those Thai money dollars so you can buy your, I don't know, shrimp chips. I don't know what you're eating out there.
Pad Thai.
Some pad Thai.
Fried rice
and pad Thai. Rob is in Thailand, in Koh Samui.
Koh Samui. Yes.
Nailed it. He's severely constipated because of all the rice, but he's safe and his life is better for the authoritarian style regime. Where can they find you if they want to follow your escapades?
nomad.teacher.roblums.
I'll pop something up that's long, buddy.
Roblums.
All right, guys, that's been the first episode, the inaugural episode. So forgive me if it's kind of unpolished, of Fill My Hole. I had 15 minutes. Rob was supposed to fill it, and the hole is overflowing. My name is Phil Balabanos. I tell stories, and this was Rob's. That's it, buddy.